come to us from the Hitchcock Center, which is some kind of a nature center.
Right.
And you do naturey things.
Yes.
Okay. Could you tell us like a little bit more about the center and what you guys do? And
Yeah. So we are an environmental education center that has been around for 50 years in this community. So we are a long-standing tradition. And we do a huge variety of things. Most people tend to know us for one thing or another, but we have tons of programs for school children. We are in and out of schools all through Hampton, Hampshire, Franklin County. We offer a big selection of community programs, after-school programs, preschool programs, et cetera.
Okay.
Camps.
And you've been there how long?
I've been there 7 years.
Okay. Time to go then, right? No.
No.
You don't have to answer that.
No,
Okay.
I'm there for good.
That's good. I appreciate that enthusiasm. Okay, so this is sort of what I want to get to. We live here in this town in large part because it's green around here. It's greener than it is in various cities. And so there's some kind of conscious decision that we've all made, or maybe subconscious, about why this place. And my suspicion is that nature has something to do with it. Mm-hmm. So at the same time, not all of us, can get out there and memorize birding books. And I think that we're all conscious of like a little bit of a shortfall. Like it'd be awesome if I could name all those wildflowers, but I name one, I learn it, and then I forget about it in like moments.
Right.
So I'm wondering
That's
if
okay.
It is?
Yeah.
Okay, I shouldn't feel bad about
No.
that? Okay, so like what I was hoping is that you could help us out here for us people who aren't good at that kind of thing. I speak for myself, but could you bring us up to speed a little bit about what's going on seasonally?
Sure.
What should we pay attention to?
Yeah. Well, it's fall, so of course everything, absolutely everything is getting ready for winter. The plants, the animals, mammals, birds, etc. So a lot of, one of the exciting things that's happening right now is hawk migration. If anyone, I'm sure there are plenty of birders out in this audience because Amherst has a huge birding community.
Should we be frightened of that, or?
No, it's a
They're out
special
there.
thing.
Okay, they're peaceful people.
Somewhat,
Sometimes
yeah. I think there's actually there's a real hidden competitive edge there.
Yeah.
I would say actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so they put
Not
some
as-
of. Okay, all right.
Yeah, I
I'm
mean,
not
when
gonna-
you're out with a group of birders, it's sort of like who's going to say what bird
Yeah.
you're seeing first, and like who actually knows which bird it is.
Yeah,
and
that sounds
there's this
very
sort of-
intimidating. I'm not a competitive
Yeah.
person. Maybe that's why I don't get involved in more naturey things.
Right. So
Okay,
hawk migration. So hawk migration, the hawks are incredibly efficient long-distance migrators. They manage to do it with very few wing flaps, which is incredibly important because, as you can imagine, it takes a lot of energy to fly south.
They're probably pretty competitive about that too. Like I did it in
No,
4.
actually, a lot of birds and animals will get social at this time of year and not compete. So they'll compete during their breeding seasons because they're competing for territory and food and raising their young. But at this time, they actually can be much more cooperative and like feed together and sort of safety in numbers kind of thing.
Example?
So the hawks will migrate in huge kettles.
I love that word.
They can be,
Kettles of
very
hawks?
nice. Yeah.
Sounds delicious.
Yeah, so the broadwing hawks will wait till midday. It's from mid-September to mid-October, and they'll wait for the air to start to warm up, and they'll start to ride thermals of warm air, and they'll spiral their way up, so high you can't even see them with the naked eye, and then they glide out towards
Florida.
Yeah, using gravity, and then catch the next thermal. So it's incredibly efficient. I was just reading that turkey vultures have been recorded to soar for 6 hours without a single wing flap.
Wow. So they just hang out there. It's like flying to England, except no movie. So how do they know? Sorry. How do they know how when to stop going up? I mean, is it when they can't breathe anymore, or are they just that's good enough? Let's go.
Yeah, I think it's you get to a certain height, and I imagine the sort of differential of the
It's a
warm air
surprising
to
fact because you sort of feel those hawks kind of above you, and they're kind of like nature's drones, But it's cool because they're not after us,
No.
So it's a happy season for the vermin because they're like, they're done, they're gone.
Right.
Let's so that the rats come out and party when this happens, or is there a big rat party somewhere?
Well, yeah, I mean, they're all everything else is focused on gorging themselves as
Yeah.
well. So it's sort of a time where everything is just sort of really focused on.
Okay. I seem to recall we were talking earlier a little bit about this, and there's a moon component to this. What's the moon component?
Well, so the many of the other small birds, the songbirds and things, will migrate at night. And so it would be a perfect night tonight, actually, if we had a spotting scope to put at the full moon. And you can actually watch groups of migrating birds that migrate they start migrating at dusk. And we don't know fully how they navigate their way south to they'll end up within 6 to 12 miles of where they were before.
Right.
But it seems to be a combination of geographical landmarks and the stars.
Yeah. Okay. So do you have?
So you can watch that through a scope on a full moon,
Right.
which is pretty.
So
sweet
there's
thing.
like hordes of birders go out and full moon night and watch.
I don't think it's a hordes of
hordes.
birders kind of thing. I think
Kettles.
it's one of those ones that maybe people do more solitarily. I'm not sure.
Okay. Solitary moonlight bird watching. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's cool. The hawk thing, we're going to look out for that. Although it doesn't sound like you can see them because they're so high, but it's nice just to think of them.
You can. Yeah, and you can sort of watch them. I mean, Mount Tom is a great place to go watch them.
Yeah. Okay.
Because you can kind of watch them ride the thermals up against the edge of the mountain.
Okay,
So
so
you're
that's a
actually-
good spot.
Yeah,
I was going to ask
yeah.
you where the thermals. That makes
Yep.
sense. Okay.
Yep.
So is there a foliage component here?
Sure,
We covered
yeah.
birds.
Yeah, so the trees,
Yeah.
obviously, they do, to prepare for winter, they do not want to lose water. And so they will actually sort of create a callus spot to make the leaves sort of stop getting their water and nutrients, so they stop producing
Oh.
chlorophyll and will
They
turn
cut-
whatever their actual pigment is and fall off, and that's a way to sort
Oh.
of protect themselves from desiccation.
I didn't know that. So it's the tree that turns off the spigot, like you're done.
Yeah.
Get off the tap.
Right, like
Okay.
I can't support all you leaves, so
Yeah.
we gotta
all
get
right.
off for the winter.
That changes my view. I always thought it was like yeah.
But then at the same time, they are producing all their seeds. They're sort of making this
Yeah.
last-ditch effort to sort of produce
Right.
as much
But
offspring
it's
as possible.
right. I mean, that makes sense. I guess what I forgot is like the tree's in control. The tree's calling the shots here. We tend to pay attention to the leaves, but it's okay. All right. What else? Is there anything else you want to throw my way before? Because I have a long list of silly questions that I'd like to ask. Well, not that long.
Oh, well, I mean, questions are good. I think just the other thing is the gorging is really interesting at this time of year. I mean, a lot of animals
I did some of that earlier.
Yeah, a lot of animals are, just eating. Chipmunks are storing these huge, caches of food down under the ground.
Yeah.
They've been known to carry just obscene quantities of things in their cheeks.
Uh-huh.
Bears will be eating so much that they'll actually double their weight.
Uh-huh. It's a full-time job.
Before winter, so then
Yeah.
they can kind of sleep off.
Uh-huh.
So, yeah.
The squirrels and the chipmunks, well, I might as well ask you about this. I was wondering about like the difference in how they get along, Because I was always sort of conscious that these guys kind of occupy the same lawn, like mine.
Right.
They hang out there.
Yeah, but you don't see them together, do you?
Yeah, no, they don't. And I
No,
thought,
no.
well, geez, maybe this is like a Hatfield McCoy thing, like, how do these guys get along?
They don't.
Do they have a go-between, like?
They don't get along. I mean,
don't?
you never see them. in the
Because
same
I always like the
places, so they-
chipmunks better. So if it was
really?
like a sports event, I'd go for because they're
Yeah.
a little cuter.
Yeah. They tend to be more sort of aggressive and
Yeah, fidgety.
active too.
They're fidgety.
Yeah, they bolt off much faster.
Yeah, they're kind of
Yeah,
cuter.
the red squirrels are really they're nasty.
They're the bad
They're
guys?
the ones that will yell at you.
They'll
But-
yell. Okay, I'll stay out of their way.
Right.
That's good to know. Okay, here's one for you. And this happened more during the summer, but I just love it because I'm going to be wondering about this all winter if I don't. If you don't clear this up for me. Like when I'm walking down my street, as often as not, like a bug will appear in front of my eye.
Okay.
And it just hangs out there and kind of buzzes around.
Oh.
And I'm thinking, does my eye smell funny? I don't even
Right,
know, it's
right.
a small thing.
I mean, I don't know.
And then I go like
Maybe
this, and
human
I feel bad because I think, maybe he was trying to tell me something, like
Your eye.
my friend got caught in a ditch, like trying to tell me, and I just batted it away.
Yeah.
Why
I
do they
guess
like
it would
my?
depend on what kind of bug
Yeah.
and what they wanted. I don't know.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see. Moose. This is something
Yeah.
I got a little bit of a head start on this because I read in the Gazette, our local paper, that it's rutting season.
It's rutting
this
season
is
for
what you
moose,
didn't
yeah.
mention is, it's hoarding time and
Right.
fleeing time, but you didn't mention rutting.
Right, you're right. So
Yeah.
a lot of
Let's talk
animals,
about-
are actually, the deer and the moose are rutting right now, which is breeding.
Yeah. This is their time for that.
This is their time for that, so then the sort of gestation happens through winter.
Yeah.
And so a lot of animals will do that, where they'll sort of have their young, towards the end, towards spring, sort of so they'll breed in the fall.
Oh.
So yeah, the moose are sort of roaming far and wide right now. This is the time that you might actually see them because they're going to roam further looking for
Yeah.
a mate. And, they do all sorts of weird things. Like, they make these, I think they're called wallows. I'm not sure where they pee and they make these nests, they pee and then they get the other moose to come and roll. Anyway.
No, this is good. This is what we're here for.
Right. Okay, so let me start over. So yeah, the male moose will pee, you sort of make an area to pee in and then roll in it.
Mm-hmm.
And that gets, it like gets that waddle, I forget what that's called actually, soaked in urine.
Yeah.
So
Because he can't pee on his own neck, so he has to.
So then that will be the way that he then walks around and emits
Yeah.
the sort of pheromones.
Yeah.
And then
Check it
the
out, ladies.
female will kind of test out the different, I think they're called wallows, I can't remember. Will roll in them as well to sort of test
Yeah.
out the different males.
Yeah. Okay. Who are we to say, I mean. And the piece in the Gazette was be careful driving because
Yeah.
love struck moose. And I
Right.
think that was the phrase they used. They're not going to pay any attention to you.
Right.
Because they're on the trail of some hot waddle or whatever.
Yeah, and I think they're known, like they don't have as much eye shine too,
Yeah.
so that we're more
Right.
likely
And
to
the
not
same
see
is
them.
really true of UMass students, this particularly this time of season.
Right.
Okay, so we're going to have to leave it there for now. That was lots of fun. Please give it up, Casey Beebe.
In the morning, in the backyard, a chair to wonder how life got so small. Could this be all there is? Through the screen door, cups and saucers, chirping like birds, well, she'll be okay. I can get away for a while. 'Cause something's gnawing, it's always nagging. I gotta do something before it's too late.